Okay, there's something that I have to share with you. This holistic stages of development is a transition framework. So it is a framework that you can use anytime you go through any transition whatsoever. The first time we develop it is everyone has it, or at least pieces. The first time that we get an opportunity to develop it is from birth to 21 years old. If we are fortunate enough to have had all the pieces in the right order, we got all the stages. Most of us, in fact, I don't know anyone who has that opportunity. So what I'm here to do is show you what they are, how to restore them, and how to apply them to different situations. So anytime that you want to become something, you go through these stages. If you're successful, you might not know that the stages are there, but if you're successful, I can guarantee that you went through them. It's a lot more fun to go through things and challenges and transitions if you know the stages. I'm going to give you a very, very brief overview. I have taught this in class in a 6-week class or an 8-week class. It can take 10 minutes, which is what I'm going to do here, or attempt to, or we can do it in an hour. We can do it in a group. I can present this information in a lot of ways, or I also have it on an app where you can just progress through the stages. So number 1 is the root stage. So this is where you're going to develop a foundation. That's all I'm going to tell you about it right now. It is where you develop your identity and the ability to trust. The second is strategic partnerships. For example, if you got a new job, the first stage you're gonna get the basics, the ground rules. What time do I show up? Where's the door? Where do I clock in? You know, what are the formats? You know, the structure of the situation where you're working. And the next one is strategic partnerships. So who do I go to if I have a question? And I'll leave it there. The third stage is where you develop competence. You know who you are, you know where you belong, you know what your job is, and you know who your go-tos are if you need anything. And the competence is when I've got this. I know what to do, I know where to do it, I know with whom to do it, and I know how long it's going to take, and you start to feel like, hey, I got this. And then you kind of get a rhythm going. And this is a security basis. So this is when you're going to feel like, I've got this, I know what's going on. And if you get challenged, you have these things to go back to, okay? The fourth. Compassion, where this is once you get a grip on what's going on, you know who your people are, and you got this, then you start to look around because you relax. And then you start to look around and say, hey, there's other people here. How about that? It's like, how was your day? You know, how are you doing with your thing? And they ask you how you're doing with theirs. And, you know, you kind of have a more human element is involved now because you can, because you're not afraid anymore, or you're not confused, or you're not trying to find your grounding, your survival mode. Your survival mode aspects or elements are covered. So then you can open up your heart and notice that there's other people around. So if there's a situation where there's a lack of heart, I bet you one of these stages is not quite complete. All right, number 5 is communication. Communication kind of speaks for itself, but one aspect that people don't always include is feeling heard, feeling secure enough and competent enough to speak up. Who's got my back if I speak up? Those kinds of things. Number 6, wisdom. With all of these things in order, you start to use language like, oh, I see, I get it, I understand. And you can understand, I use the example of all the gears in the watch, and you can see how this one affects this one, affects this one, and they all come together and they make time. So that's wisdom. Number 7 is universal wholeness, or wholeness, holistic. This is where that word comes from. This is when you realize you have your job on this team, but you also realize it's a team. It's a whole picture. And your piece of this whole picture is just a piece in the whole picture, but it can't survive without your piece. But it isn't all about you. It's about the bigger picture and you doing your thing really well so you can contribute to the universal whole. This can apply to any job, any team, any family, a new relationship. You can do it individually if you just got married, any life transition. If you got married, if you got divorced, if there's a death, if there's a birth, you get a new job, you go off to school, your kids go off to school. I want to become healthy. I want to become a non-smoker. Just fun. I don't believe in quitting anything. I don't think it's physically possible to quit, but you can become something a lot easier than you can stop doing something. So when you want to become something, go through these stages and you'll be successful. If you need help doing it, guess who's here for you? Bye.